But Sir Graham Wilson said, at that time, he said, this vaccine is a leaky vaccine, and ultimately it's going to wane. And the problem, I'm going to say, first of all, the measles vaccine works. So if you take that vaccine, you're unlikely to get measles. You're much less likely to get measles than if you don't. And, HHS continues to recommend that vaccine. But there are problems with the vaccine. And, the problem is really with the mumps portion of the vaccine and the combination. And it was never safety tested. That combination was never safety tested. And people just assume that, if the three separate vaccines were safe, and when you combine them, they would also be safe. But we now know there's some viral interference. And the combination vaccines seem to be linked to a lot of adverse events that they were not getting from the separate vaccines.
So there's a lot of clarification that needs to be said about his false and misleading statements. Number one, Sir Graham Wilson, as a vaccine expert at the time that the measles-containing vaccines were developed in the 1960s and 1970s, was not saying that the measles-containing vaccines were leaky or ineffective. The issue was that the initial vaccine was only given one dose, and that you would need 2 doses to have longer-term protection against the measles virus. So in 1989, 2 doses of the measles, mumps, rubella, or MMR vaccine was recommended to give that more durable protection. Number 2, he claims that the MMR vaccine was not safety tested, and that's completely false because there have been studies that have looked at this. Here's an example of one, and there's post-marketing research on vaccines all the time. So when it's in the market, if there are concerns about safety, that is reported. In addition, he claims that the MMR vaccine is not as safe as giving measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines separately, but there are multiple studies showing that there are no additional safety concerns when you combine these viruses together. And this concept of viral interference that he talks about, where these different viruses within the vaccine could potentially compete with each other and alter the immune response, that's also not true as well. The bottom line is despite what RFK Jr. is trying to tell people, if you weigh the risks and benefits of the MMR vaccine compared to the risks of getting the most contagious virus that we know that could potentially cause pneumonia, hearing loss, immune amnesia, brain swelling, and even death, the benefits of vaccination far outweigh the known and potential risks for the vast majority of people. So you really should be listening to your doctor if you have questions about this, not a lawyer.